Oh, I should probably close Twitch Twitch tab. Oh shoot, I forgot to change the freaking stream information. Hold on. Where did it go? Okay, it's not here. Stream information. That's it. Okay, now it's updated. Now I can say what? When I remember. Which means, hold on, I can probably check real quick which ones are up. Because it's definitely not all of Act 3. But there's the finals, the semifinals, the quarterfinals, week 7, week 6, week 3, and then 2 week 1s. Probably need to get rid of one of those week 1s because they are the exact same. Let's see if anyone actually shows up. I mean, I pinged everybody, right? Well, no, oh yeah, I could do an everyone ping. Oh, well, people are here. Yo! That is true. Can y'all hear Pivot? Y'all in the chat? Because I may or may not have set it up correctly. Okay, looks like they can't hear you. Maybe I clicked the wrong one. Is it this one? Talk again? Oh, I need to like
Talking.
boost you like crazy.
Ah, I do need to get a better mic.
Maybe. Okay, I might not need this. Oh, this one's just probably repeating my. Okay, let me know when y'all can hear Pivot.
I mean, I have one mic that might be better.
It's fine. The awards show. Okay, Eric can hear you now.
Alright, take shit.
How many people do we got here? Let me.
I got 7 lucky. That's actually not bad.
We got what?
No, I got 7 so far.
Oh, my thing says 1 viewer.
Mine updates faster because I'm better. But no, it's
Oh,
7 now.
clearly, yeah. Clearly.
It's because like I'm on like the channel, but I'm not the one like running the stream. It updates in live time for me, whereas like for Twitch streamers, it updates like every like interval.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think
It's like on a.
you get a timer type
I
shit.
forget what that's called. Yeah. In any case, welcome everyone. Welcome to the end of season awards for Act 3. You will probably clearly tell that this was never rehearsed. And
He didn't want to rehearse it. I said we should, but he said he didn't want to.
yeah, that's definitely what happened. It definitely wasn't like me looking over the slideshow like, 20 minutes before the stream and being like, I don't know what I'm gonna say here. I don't know who's gonna say what. But we're here now, so it's gonna be a fun time.
Ooh, got 9 or 10 viewers. Ooh.
Ooh, we got a lot of viewers. Is that an all-time high? No, I think we had 12
Nah,
viewers
our
at one
highest is
point.
16.
18? Wow, okay, that's actually a
16.
lot higher than I
It's
thought it would
a
be.
16.
Oh, 16. Okay, never mind. Fire Bro. It's a crazy emoji. Referencer, yo, what's up? Champion in
Does Mini
chat.
Or spawn? Where does Mini Or spawn?
Pivot is playing real Pokemon games.
Yeah, I'm like
Uh,
shiny hunting and shit right now
yeah, he's
for the
shiny
bingo.
hunting while
I got a
while
Donphan
we
and a
wait to.
Vaporeon. That's right, I got a Vaporeon.
Vaporeon, yeah, that's not a concern at all.
Bro, I shiny hunted for like 2 hours for that, if not longer.
If you say so.
It was not worth it, but
Shiny Vaporeon it's not a good look.
nah, it is. It's pink, which is like pink and purple, like which it looks solid, but it's
Eh,
because I don't
I'm
no,
just
it's because
not a
I don't
huge
even
fan of
play the
like the pink
Pokemon
and purple
games.
shinies.
That's just because I don't even really play the Pokemon games. I'm only doing this because I'm competitive and like want to win the bingo.
That's so real though. I don't remember the last time that I've like actually played a Pokemon game. Um, I'm probably gonna play A to Z when it comes out because I enjoyed what
It
little
is.
I
I
played
thought it
of
was called, but I actually don't know.
Arceus.
To be fair, we don't know what it's called. I got Arceus, but I just couldn't play through it because it was too slow.
Yeah, I never finished it.
There was too many options, and I just like I couldn't. I was like, "No."
I've just realized that I'm not that I can't really deal with open world games as well. I don't enjoy them as
Yes, bro,
much.
I can't I can't focus on anything.
Yeah, I need like either linear gameplay or like an actual like loop,
I like
you
I,
know.
I liked
That's
how
why I like
Scarlet was,
roguelikes.
where it's like semi-open.
Anyway,
Like that
uh
Espeon was like semi-open.
Legends is so
I'm not
easy.
saying that like I'm not saying that it's difficult. I'm saying that like it's just kind of like boring.
Yeah, because it's easy, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You just picked up Legends Arceus, got new controllers. Nice.
Uh,
I enjoyed
just
Arceus when I played it, but
when they
it
do
got
a Pokemon game, when they do Pokemon game in VR, I'll play it. I'll play it fully.
that'll be something. The game does take a long time, like from what I've heard. Anyway, I think we have waited long enough, so I am going to get us started on this awards show. Bleh. So welcome to the end of season awards. I can't talk right now. This is a really bad time to not be able to talk. Um, welcome to the end of season awards show for LBC season 3 or act 3 because we can't get our lingo straight. Um,
We're doing season. I got tired of the act thing.
these are all of our wonderful awards that we will be giving. I believe Pivot, you're the one who created them, so why don't you
Yeah.
explain how the awards will exactly be given out?
So each award here will have three nominations, and then I mean we'll let some chat input, but the winners have already been decided for the most part. So the awards have already been decided, but there will be three nominations for each one.
3 nominations. Okay. So you will see the 3 nominations for each of these wonderful categories, and I'm just gonna go through them real quick. We got OP Draft, which you know is the award that goes to the best draft, best replacement coach, which goes to the coach that took took a team and improved it. I guess I don't know how to explain that. You all can
Yeah,
probably
best
figure out
replacement will
most of
be
these.
whoever. Yeah, yeah, best replacement is basically who took their team and kind of adapted it and ran with it where relative to like the rest of the season.
Yeah, and like took it beyond where he was going
Yeah.
beforehand. Right. Most improved. This one goes
So
to the person.
yeah,
Go ahead.
this is relative to past seasons. So this will be like people who improved the most from last season. So this will be mainly or only players who have played on LBC before.
Okay. And then Mon of the season, if you could explain that one also.
That's basically just gonna be like which Mon was the most dominant within like their respective division and had like the biggest impact in playoffs and for their individual coach.
Hmm. Okay, and best nicknames. I assume that that's just an arbitrary, whatever
Yeah,
nicknames you liked.
yeah, more or less. So best nicknames is not necessarily have the best theme, but like individual nicknames and like individual game themes as well.
Hmm. And biggest upsets.
Yeah, so that's gonna be like whenever you had if we were doing pick'ems for the entire season, it would have been a massive upset, or it was a massive upset with pick'ems.
Hmm. Okay, and best
Best
tech.
tech is like best, yeah, that's best individual tech, whether it be an item, move set, or anything like that. Just an unexpected set that helped change the course of the game.
Hmm. Game of the season.
Game of the season's pretty just self-explanatory. Whether it was a close game or a dominant performance, is which game we felt like was the best representation of skill and best use of team.
And then
The
best
best
value.
value, yeah, best value is respective to how many points the mon cost were you able to get out of it. So was it you're able to use a 5 point mon to maximum efficiency?
Right. Okay, and coach of the season. Probably the most important
Coach
award.
of Yeah, that was basically who was the most dominant coach throughout the course of the season.
Right. I think I have a couple in mind that are nominations, even if I don't remember what the actual nominations are. And then the Special Pick'ems Award. This
That's
one's a
just
little
who won
different,
Pick'em.
correct?
Yeah, that's just who won Pick'ems. Because I kept track of everybody's
Mhm.
results.
Of course, of course. All right. Well, now that you all understand the categories, let's just get right into it. The most OP draft. These are your three nominations. Pivot, could you explain your thinkings?
So it takes a second to load it on stream. But okay, so laws we have pretty much. I don't. When you look at the top five, it's hard to really justify not putting that as the most dominant draft possible in an Ubers division, especially because Orthworm, slightly my mistake, was able to Terra and use Shedtail at 5 points. So Shedtail with a slow pivot to pivot in any of the top five kind of just gave them a free sweep, which was the reason they had like one of the highest differentials in the entire division.
Hmm.
Polar had arguably the best Terra captain besides Iron Valiant. You could make a case for either one, but having Iron Valiant, Tapu Koko together was pretty much a win con in of itself, no matter what game or matchup it was. Axley, so besides those two coaches that really were a level above everybody else, Axley was the next most dominant coach because Dragapult, Kingambit, DNC, they just worked together so well and they helped dominate the season. So in a vacuum, that was probably one of the strongest drafts because every single mon on that team requires prep.
Hmm. Yeah. So, which of these three was the strongest draft, would you say?
I think it's hard to make a case not for lulls when you look at this team. Arceus Ground, Xerneas, Calyrex, Ice, Dragapult. It's hard not to instantly give it to them.
Of course. Yeah. I think many people could see this coming just looking at these teams. It's hard not to give it to Lols. He had comments throughout the entire season of, "Oh, if Lols doesn't win this whole thing, then
Yeah.
he's wasting a draft." So
He then
congratulations,
proceeded,
Lols.
yeah,
You
he then
had
proceeded to lose week one.
he did then proceed to lose week one. It was quite humorous. Uh, but performance notwithstanding, he did have the most incredible draft. So congratulations, Lols. Uh, you win the award for most OP draft.
Something to note for lulls is
Oh,
that the only person to beat him was the reigning champ or the champion who wound up being champion at the end of the season, and
that is
he
a good
beat
thing
them
to note.
twice. So it was the only one person beat them, but it was Omi.
They only lost to the one person, and the one person was the champion. Yep, it makes
Yeah.
sense. It makes sense. Now we're moving on to best replacement coach. We had a couple this season. Most of them came in at the start. Pivot.
We actually didn't have that many replacement coaches compared to last season. Those of you who were here, you might remember some of the divisions that we had so many replacements for that it was, I think, like we had like a 25 to 30% replacement rate. So compared to this season, where I believe we only had five, maybe six replacements, and I think three of them were in
Yeah,
OST, it wasn't that bad. So
yeah, he was a
Slick was actually a surprise one, because I didn't really know anything about them, but they were able to take the lower ranked team. They almost brought us to playoffs. I think like if one or two matches that they didn't play, like that other people were playing in the week, they may
mhm,
have been in playoff range if they went a different way.
right.
Lyrics is the first ever replacement coach in LBC history to actually win a division. It's never happened before in
Hmm.
any season. And then we
Yeah,
needed a third one. So Lukarkov was just he took a consistent team and kept it consistent and it just went throughout the season.
real compliments to him. We needed a third one.
We did. We did.
But I have a guess at who wins this.
Yeah. Yeah. You can go. You can do it. I trust you.
It's lyrics, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Unfortunately.
there's no way that we can justify not giving lyrics the award after being a replacement coach. Which week did he come in as a replacement?
Probably vacuum it,
Oh, well.
you can just change the filter. We can vacuum.
I guess we'll find out later.
The filter's here in the hallway when you get a chance.
Um,
Lyrics, I believe.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Lyrics, I believe. I'm fine.
I thought you said something.
Lyrics, I want to
lyrics.
say was three. I want to
That
say, but
sounds
I'm
right.
not 100.
It was week 2 or 3. I don't know if he's in chat to confirm. Um, but it was pretty early on in the
But did
season.
Lyrics did lose a game. I remember because they got pissed off at a fracture misclick.
Ah, that's right.
So I
But
think they lost to O. Yeah, they lost to O2. I know that.
oh, 02. Yep, that sounds right. But in any case, Lyrics did in fact win the entire OSA division, so best replacement coach pretty easily goes to Lyrics. Congratulations. Moving on, most improved. Just a reminder, this is based on previous seasons. So if you didn't play in Act 1 or 2, then you are not eligible for this award. Um, but looking at these awards, or looking at these nominations, I should say, Pivot, could you go into a little more depth about these?
So HX and Referencer actually have the same Act 2 record. However, Referencer was a replacement coach, so I gave HX the precedence or like the benefit over him
Hmm.
because he was like he played the entire season. Captain Cankles, he was also a replacement coach, but he went from 0-7 -28 to 4-3 +1. Then Riff, who went 3-4 -9 to 5-2. And I'd argue, like pretty confidently, that North was one of the hardest divisions to really
Yeah,
succeed in, and he made it there.
yeah, North definitely had some of the strongest players, I would say, in LBC in general. Uh,
Yeah.
just like on average, I would say. Average skill level was probably just a couple steps ahead. But HX25 obviously was a finalist, so that's a pretty big improvement there from having a losing record last season. And then Kankles is just a massive improvement from going from 0-7 -28, one of the lowest differentials you can physically have,
Yeah.
uh,
He
all the
was
way
a
to
replacement though, so not all of those games were
was a
his.
replacement. But that doesn't
I think
change
he
the
only
fact
played.
that he did end 0-7, and then took it to a winning record. I think that's a pretty significant improvement. And then obviously Riff uh, going 3-4 last season, and then going up plus 12, 5-2. Very, very big improvement there. But who does the award go to?
Honestly, there's a valid case for any one of these three coaches, I think. Any one of them could like
Hmm.
deserve it and it wouldn't be crazy. So
I have
personally,
to agree
just
with that.
because they went from yeah, just because the peak that they reached and like the people that they beat on the way to get there, I'm gonna give it to HX, but I could absolutely see any case for any one of the three.
Yeah, absolutely. This is probably one of the closest awards that I would say that we have, um, and probably one of the hardest to judge, to be perfectly honest. Um, but HX25 going from 2-5 to becoming a finalist and getting very, very close to winning it. From what I recall, the South Finals game was very,
Yeah.
very close. Um, I think, yeah, he deserves this award. So congratulations, HX25. You get the award for most improved. It is not a participation trophy, trust me. Pokemon of the season. Uh, these are our 3 nominations. These are based, purely on the stats. If you could explain these, Pivot.
1 second, I'm watching the stream and it's just like delay. All right, cool. So we have 3 nominations: Lugia, Comfey, and Cobalion. Comfey was notable because it was the kill leader in total in West, and it's one of the cheaper mons, and that's even with some of the highest Terramons like Iron Valiant, Iron Bundle, or Roaring Moon. Comfey still managed to come on top. Lugia, while it's an Uber, the amount of impact that it had in the first 3 weeks by itself was enough to almost guarantee itself playoffs because of like I believe it got 2 6-0s in a row from week 1 and
Hmm.
week 2, or it got like a 5 and 6. It ended week 2 with like +11. And then Cobalion was just incredibly consistent and averaged over basically 2 kills a game in a low tier division.
Right. Yeah. And looking at these stats, these are really, really impressive stats, obviously. 14 kills minimum for all 3 of these. And Comfey having far more kills than both Cobalion and Lugia, but does have more deaths and has apparently an extra game played. Um, but Pivot, of these 3, which is the winner of Pokemon of the season?
I decided that Comfey was the one to deserve it because they're in such a strong division with high tier caps and they still managed to come on top.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I do have to agree with that. Uh, and also like a little bit of a value pick, right? Because it's a
It was
Terramon that was
definitely, yeah.
chosen, um, but it wasn't like a high tier, and it's in high tier Terra, you know.
Hmm.
So congrats to Comfey, and whoever drafted it,
That would be VLB in West.
VLB. Yes. Oh yeah, it's listed right there. I'm blind. I'm sorry. Congrats to VLB. Your Comfey has won Pokemon of the season. And moving on to best nicknames. Probably the most subjective of the awards. We have 3 nominations. Extermination, Cheeseburger, and Crimson Tanuki all have some great nicknames and have had some great nicknames that we've seen on our watch parties, which you should check out next season. So, Pivot, could you explain a little bit more in depth about why you like these 3 specifically?
So Exterm, I liked it because he did it the last week, I believe it was the last week, and he did it after all the genres. Especially, he had 2 mons named Gamer Not Found.
Hmm.
So because he's the
He had
notable
the
one.
callback and the references. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cheeseburger. People can hate on brain rot nicknames. I find them funny. I always have, and I always will. I don't care.
Well, to each their own. And Crimson Tanuki's nicknames.
Yeah, Crimson Tanuki, they were pretty much one of the only people that actually stayed consistent with nicknames throughout the season with a VTuber theme.
Yeah, for sure. And of these 3, which one had the best nicknames?
I think while all of them have somewhat of a case, just for the massive amount of consistency, I'm gonna give it to Crimson Tanuki.
Congratulations, Crimson Tanuki. You have won Best Nicknames of LBC Act 3. Congratulations. Uh, Moving on. Best Tech. This is, of course, the best single tech, so best move, best single set on one mon. And these are your three nominations: Hatterene, piloted by Firebro; Gothtel, piloted by Nassim; and Arceus Poison, probably a little bit of, a shell to himself, Pivot's Arceus Poison in North. Pivot, could you explain why these three specifically were chosen?
So Hatterene was chosen not necessarily because it had the largest impact, but because it was such a unique case that had so many interactions going into it by using Ability Shield to prevent a Mold Breaker Haxorus from getting Stealth Rocks up. It was just very far-sighted that you would have to get this Mon in on Haxorus while it's running Mold Breaker, which all happened. So it's a very
Right.
specific tech that actually worked.
It's just so specific, and if you read anything wrong, then it wouldn't have worked at all.
Yeah,
And then Gothitelle.
Gothitelle was because in the semifinals, this Mon is more or less what got them to finals. By using a Terra Ground rest version, they were able to completely stall a Rotom Heat and just set up way beyond like what you would ever expect or see another Gothitelle 2.
Right.
The end, they didn't manage to like sweep with it, but it's one of the reasons that they actually made it through semifinals and made it to finals.
Yeah, I do remember watching this one during the semifinals watch party. And if I remember correctly, it took out three Mons. Like it was Rotom Heat and then a couple others until it was eventually taken out, I think
Rotom
by
Heat,
priority or something like that.
Darkrai, yeah, Rotom Heat, Darkrai got paralyzed by Jirachi, and then Sneasler came in and revenge killed it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have a good memory.
you do. Much better than mine. And moving on
Switching
to the
instead.
third nomination.
So
Explain.
this is my favorite nomination of the entire award show. It didn't
Surprising.
matter whether I was in front. It didn't matter if I was in front of a Tauntmon. It didn't matter if I was a physical attacking Arceus, or if I
Hmm.
was in front of a Muckalola who was resisting me and clicking Zen Headbutt with a increased crit rate. No matter what, I was clicking Calm Mind. I was
Yeah, and
keeping it
that's
calm.
it's just a tech.
It was a tech,
Hmm. Now,
to be honest.
which of these three nominations has won best tech? Oh, you still there?
I am. I just don't remember who won it. Ah, fuck, I can pick. I can pick now. Why not?
Yeah, just figure it out now.
I think. I think just because it's so specific, it's so like one case. It's never really gonna work again.
Hmm.
Oh, Gothitelle was so dominant. It's between Hatterene and Gothitelle.
Of course.
I mean, do you have any input on who you would give the award to?
Um, my thinking is Gothitelle was significantly more relevant. It was more like
Yeah,
powerful,
it
but it was
was.
also like um in terms
Terra Arena
of
Trap isn't unheard of.
right. Uh in terms of like a what I think a tech is, ability shield to block mold breaker in order to allow your ability to trigger. Um, I think that that's just
Yeah,
like the
I think I'd have to
definition of
give it to
what.
Firebro and Hatterene here.
Yeah, Firebro, congratulations! You have won best tech with your Hatterene tech in ability shield. Congratulations! I do truly think that that's probably one of the best
Yeah.
representations of what good tech looks like. So congratulations. Our next award is Game of the Season. So this is the single. This award will go to the single best game of the season. And these are our three nominations: O2 versus Lyrics, Nassim versus Eric, and Referencer versus Prezi. Pivot, could you explain a little more of the history or the reasoning for these nominations?
So O2 versus Lyrics, I really liked because it was such a unique end game. It was a fly score trying to get itself poisoned with leftovers, and it used Toxic against a Mew who used Transform, and it wound up giving itself Poison Heal. And then it was a very complicated end game that I don't think I've ever seen before in a draft, and I don't think I ever will see again.
Hmm.
I've like just transform on a Mew to get Poison Heal from Toxic on a Gliscor is unheard of. And
Yeah,
it did have a case for Tech of the Season, but I thought overall, because of how the end game played out, it was more of a game of the season than end
yeah,
Tech of the Season. Nassim versus Eric was the semifinal, and that's because it kept going back and forth. Both players had a very strong chance to just sweep the game by themselves, whether it was with their Terra Sneasler or whether it came down to their Gothita, who was beyond setup. Both of them had opportunities to just sweep through the game. And then
yeah.
Referencer versus Prezi, I liked because it was it was arguably like the closest game throughout the entire season, coming down just to move selection in the last two turns.
I do remember this game. Uh, from what I remember, it was some very critical decisions that had to be made,
Yeah,
and I think it might have been a very small miscalculation
yeah,
or missed prediction that gave the game
yeah.
to Referencer. And not to
Prezi
mention, it was
was
a
out.
semifinal game.
Yeah, yeah. So was Nassim versus Eric, but
That is also true. Yeah, both of these were semifinal games.
Referencer versus Prezi, it ended with a Slow King against G Weezing, and then it was Future Sight into Scald. But if he clicked Scald twice, he probably would have won. But it depends whether
It
Referencer
depended on
clicks Pain
whether,
Split.
yeah, he slacked off and got the healing. Yeah, it was a very intense endgame. But which of these nominations has won?
I think for this game, I'm gonna give it to Referencer versus Prezi just because of how close it was. Both of
Hmm.
them were absolute contenders for like finals that nobody really knew how this game was gonna go. And
Yeah.
it came down to the last minute and every turn mattered.
Uh-huh. And then just that crazy endgame that was absolutely nail biting to watch. It was a very, very intense game to watch and a very, very well played game by both players. So, congratulations, Referencer and Prezi. You guys have won Game of the Season. And next, best value pick. We got a little bit into to this one before, um, and right now you can only see two nominations
Yeah, pick it again.
because the winner of this is probably just so insanely clear that it's not worth it to show it quite yet.
Yeah,
But yeah, Pivot, if you could get into these two nominations.
so Diggersby, I really liked. So it was in South Division, and it's not an extremely expensive mon, but it still managed to do very well. It was like one of the top kill leaders, if not the kill leader. I think it was top three. I think it was third place for kill leader, second or third.
Hmm.
So that
It
was
was
like a
only
great
11
option.
points.
Yeah. Clodsire was in the Ubers division, and while most of its kills came from passive, the amount of pressure that it exerted on setup mons like Arceus that it couldn't sweep through them. And with Terra, it did really well.
Yeah. But then the final nomination that is pretty clearly the winner, just based purely off of its insane stats. It is Man Bear Pig's Kangaskhan in East in low tier. Uh,
That
13
mon had
kills,
probably, yeah,
3 deaths.
that mon had probably had some
Just
of the best sets and some of the best utilized that we've ever seen a mon used. Period.
mhm, yeah, a very just it every time it was on the field, it just felt dominating. Uh,
You never
and
knew what it
for
was going to bring.
Yeah, it had more kills than both Diggersby and Clodsire, and was less points. Now it is in low
It
tier,
is in
but I
low
don't think
tier,
that really makes a difference,
not massively, no.
because it is still 3 points less than both Diggersby and Clodsire. But congratulations, Man Bear Pig, for
As a
your best
percentile
value
of their
pick.
budget, as a percentile of their budget, Kangaskhan is still cheaper. Besides Clodsire, but
Oh, I didn't realize that part.
yeah,
Interesting.
besides Clodsire, because that's Uber's budget, but
Yeah, but yeah, Ubers.
yeah,
Anyway,
it's broken.
congratulations, Man Bear Pig. Um, This is one of our last awards, Coach of the Season, a very major award. And these are our 3 nominations: Super Colonel 44 from North Division, Prezi from South Division, and Manbear Pig from East Division. Pivot, could you go into your thinking for each of these 3 nominations?
So Super Colonel, and like once again in the North Division, it was extremely dominant. He still managed to come out with a plus 19 record, which I think is just absolutely outstanding to come out there, reaching the finals before only falling to Omi. They're a first time coach in LBC, and they really made their mark. Prezi is, if we had an award for most consistent coach, I would give it to Prezi without a second doubt. Making making semifinals this season and finals last season, they're the most consistent coach without a doubt, making the highest of the levels. And then Man Bear Pig is the second ever undefeated record and had the top kill leaders for his 2 Mons in East.
Yeah. So all 3 of these have shown very dominating performances. Prezi being extremely consistent, Super Colonel having a very high differential despite being in North Division in such a volatile format with very, very strong opponents and making it all the way to finals. And Manbear Pig, the second ever undefeated regular season, also making it all the way to finals and having both of the top 2 kill leaders in his entire division. Which of these 3 is the best coach of the season for LBC Act 3?
While I hate doubling up on awards, undefeated season plus 29 differential and 2 kill leaders, it's almost impossible to beat relative to season. If he got a championship, there would not even be a doubt in my mind. But I think with this season alone, we'd have to give it to Man Bear Pig.
Yeah. Yeah, Manbear Pig was just such a dominating force throughout the season and just barely managing to lose it in the final. But he will be coming back, I hope, next season to try and secure that actual championship win. But congratulations, Manbear Pig. You are the coach of the season. Crimson Tanuki, will there be graphics for the winners? That's a great question. Pivot, are we going to do that?
Yeah, I mean, if the winners request it, yes. I'm not making them for every award, but if people request them, yes.
Gotcha.
On request, yes.
Will there be a VOD? Yes, I will upload it to YouTube just after the stream is done. And our special Pick'ems award, Manbear Pig, he, won Pick'ems, so congratulations to him. Second place was Pivot Vortex. Manbear Pig making a little bit of a sweep of these awards, to be perfectly honest. He won best coach, he won best value pick.
Value.
Yeah.
And Pick'ems award, yes.
And the Pick'ems, yeah. So congratulations, Manbear Pig.
It beat me by 1 point it beat me by 1 point. It was 19 to 18.
Oof. But thanks everyone for joining us. This has been the season 3 LBC award show. Come back next season. I don't know what we're going to be doing for the off season just yet. But let us know what your thoughts were for everything that happened this season and what you would like for next season. Thanks for joining.
See ya.